Okay, today we're going to quickly review three of the concepts that we've learned in class. The first one we're going to take a look at is place value. So when we're looking at place value, we've been looking at fractions and how we can turn those into our place value chart. So I'm going to start off with just one of the fractions. So let's say we had 352 over 10. So if we had 352 over 10, there's two ways we can approach this problem. The first way we can approach this problem is to look at our place value chart. So if I create my place value chart, I have my decimal here, and my decimal is the area that separates two parts of our place value chart. On this side we have our fractions, so numbers that are less than 1, and on this side we have our whole numbers. So when we're looking at these two parts of the place value chart, what we're going to do now is just create each place within this chart. So the place where your decimal is kept is your ones column. And then once we have that ones column in, everything almost works like a mirror image for each side. So after ones, and we're used to dealing with this side of place value, you'd have tens. On the other side, you have fractions, or part of one, so in this case you'd have tenths. Then our next column we'd put in would be hundreds. And once again, like this acting as a mirror, on the other side we'd have hundredths. And that TH again emphasizing the fact that we're dealing with a fraction. So once we've done that, I'll zoom in a bit more. Once we've got our place value chart done, sometimes I'll just put the numbers underneath. So tenths means out of 10, hundredths means out of 100. This is your 1 column, your 10 column, your 100 column. Now the thing you'll notice is that if we're going in this direction, to get from 1 to 10, we just multiply by 10. To get from 10 to 100, you multiply by 10. So as you're going this way, your numbers are getting larger by a factor of 10. On the other hand, if you go in the other direction, for example, if we go from 10 to 1, if you're going in that direction, you're actually dividing by 10. And that, if you want to look at it more in a common sense sort of way, if I divide a number by 10, it's going to get smaller. If I multiply a number by 10, it's going to get larger. So if we look at our 352 over 10, I'm starting in the 10th column, which is right here. So if I put my 2 here, I put my 5 here, and my 3 here. So 352 over 10, or 352 tenths, is the same as 35.2. And that makes sense because if you have around 300, and you divide it amongst 10 people, you're going to get a number that's around 30. Now, the other method we can use is just to make use of what we've learned here. And what we've learned here is that if I take a number and divide it by 10, it gets smaller. So 352 has a decimal right at the end of it. And if I divide this by 10, my number is going to get smaller. Well, numbers get smaller when the decimal moves that way. And in this case, because we're only dividing by 10, it only moves one place. So your answer again would be 35.2. Now the second thing we took a look at today was ordering numbers. And the big thing you want to look at when you're ordering numbers is to remember to create a number line so you can help plot them. And for example, if we were doing numbers between 0 and 100, then I would have my approximate number line from 0 to 100, and I would create points along that line, like 50, 75, and 25, to help me plot where my numbers would be. So if I had 73.2, and 10.6, and 99, I can plot these numbers more easily because I have a reference point. I know that 99 is near 100. I know that 73.2 is near 75. And I know that 10.6 is between 0 and 25. So, if you're good with those points, then for the quiz tomorrow, things should be pretty good.